My name is Steph. I am a student. I study at university. My life was simple, but it was often hard. We did not have much money in my family. This made many things difficult for me. I lived in a small place. It was not very nice, but it was my home. I studied very hard every day. I wanted to learn and do well, but I also needed to work. I worked to help my family. I worked to pay for my studies and for my food. I had different part-time jobs. These jobs were often tiring. They took many hours of my time. I was usually very tired. After I finished studying, I went to work. After I finished working, I came home to study more. This was my life for a long time, day after day, week after week. Sometimes I felt sad or tired, but I always kept hoping. I knew I had to work hard for the future I wanted. The road ahead looked very long. I had dreams for the future. I dreamed of a life that was not so hard. I wanted to finish university successfully. I wanted to get a good job after I finished. My biggest dream was to help my parents. They worked very hard for me all their lives. I wanted them to have a comfortable life. I wanted to buy them a nice house one day. I dreamed of a safe and happy future for all of us. I worked very hard for these dreams. I thought that my future would follow a simple path. I thought I would finish my degree. Then I would find a normal job, maybe in an office. I thought I would work hard and save money slowly. I thought I would build a better life step by step over many years. This was my plan. It was a simple plan for a normal, ordinary life. But my life was not going to be ordinary. It was not going to follow a simple path. It was going to change in a way I could not imagine. My difficult life was about to take a very surprising turn, a turn I never expected, a turn that would change everything for me. This is the story of that change. It is the story of how my simple, hard life became something completely different. It is the story of a big surprise that started from a very normal day. It is the story of a change I could never have dreamed of. 2. My old life. I was a student at university. I studied very hard every day. My family did not have a lot of money. Because of this, our life was difficult sometimes. I lived in a small apartment by myself. It was not very nice, but it was my home. Many nights I ate simple food like instant noodles. It was cheap and easy to make. To pay for my books and my food, I worked. I had many jobs at the same time. These were part-time jobs. They were not very good jobs, but they gave me money. I worked in shops, in cafes, and did other small tasks. I worked after classes and on weekends. Sometimes I worked late at night. I was usually very tired from studying and working. My clothes were old. They were not new or fashionable. Some of my friends had new things, new clothes, new phones. I saw them, but I tried not to feel sad about my old things. I knew I had to work hard. I had a big reason to work hard. I wanted to make my parents happy. They worked hard too, and I wanted to help them in the future. I wanted to finish my studies and get a good job. I wanted to have a better life for myself and for my family. This wish made me strong. It helped me to study when I was tired and to work when I did not want to. It was not an easy life. It was simple and full of work, but I kept going. I did not know that my life was going to change very, very soon. 3. A job at a big place. One day, I saw an advertisement for a job. It was for a helper at King Enterprises. This company was very big and famous. I felt scared because it was such a large place, but I needed money a lot. So I decided to go for an interview. I put on my best old dress and went to the big building. The interview was not difficult. I said I would work hard. Soon, they called me and said I got the job. I was happy. My job was simple. I had to make coffee for people. I had to copy papers using a machine. I also had to run errands, like taking papers to different rooms. The office was very big and modern. Everything was new and clean. There were many desks and rooms. Many important people worked there. They wore suits and looked busy. I felt very small in this big place. My job was small, and I felt small too, but I worked very hard every day. I came early in the morning. I always tried to smile. I did my tasks quickly. When someone asked for coffee, I made it fast. When papers needed copying, I did it right away. I ran errands fast too. I wanted to be a good helper. I wanted to show that I could work hard. The office was always busy. Many people walked past me. They were important. I was just the helper. I felt small among all these important people and their big jobs, but I kept working. I did my simple tasks carefully. I learned the office well. It was a new experience. It was hard work, but I was happy to have the job. It was a chance to be in a big company. I hoped I could learn something here. I just focused on doing my job well every day, working very hard, trying my best in the big, modern office of King Enterprises. 4. The boss sees me. I worked very hard at the office every day. I came early and stayed late sometimes. My job was simple, but I wanted to do it very well. I made coffee, copied papers, and took messages. The office was very big. Many important people worked there. I felt very small among them. I always tried to smile and be helpful. I learned quickly. I did every task fast. My desk was small. It was not a special place, but it was my place to work. Sometimes I stayed after most people went home. The rooms were quiet. I stayed late to finish all my tasks. Sometimes I helped other people. I wanted to show I was a good worker. One evening I was working very late. It was dark outside. The office was almost empty. I was copying papers. Suddenly I heard footsteps. Someone was walking near my desk. I looked up. It was Mr. Rick King, the boss. He was a very important man. I had seen him before. He was tall and strong. He wore expensive suits. He looked very serious, maybe a little tired. People said he worked all the time. He was like a picture, not a real person you could talk to. He stopped near my desk. He looked at me. My heart beat faster. Why was he stopping? Did I do something wrong? He looked at the papers. Then he looked at my face. "You are still here, miss," he said. His voice was deep. "Steph," I said. My voice was small. He nodded. He looked at me again. "You work very hard, Steph," he said. He did not say more. He just nodded again and walked away. He went towards his office area. I stood there for a moment. My heart was beating fast. The boss, Mr. King, knew my name. He saw me. He saw I worked hard. It felt like a big thing. I was just a helper. But the boss saw me. He spoke to me. It made me feel seen. A few days passed. I did my work. I thought about that evening. Then one afternoon my phone rang. It was Mr. King's assistant. "Steph," she said, "Mr. King wants to see you in his office. Can you come now?" My stomach felt strange. Mr. King wanted to see me in his office. I felt nervous. Did I make a mistake? I said yes. My hands shook a little. I walked towards his office doors. 5, a big surprise. I felt very nervous. Mr. King's assistant told me he wanted to see me. I walked to his office. It was very big. There was a large window. I could see the city from high up. Mr. King was sitting at his desk. He looked tired, but he also looked very powerful. He asked me to sit down. He started talking. He said he watched me at work. He thought I worked very hard. He said I was smart. He said I did my job well without complaining. I felt a little bit proud when he said this. Then he said something that surprised me very much. He said he had a proposal. It was an unusual idea. He said he needed a wife. I was shocked. I did not understand. My mouth opened a little. He explained more. He said he needed a wife for 1 year. It was for his business and for his family. He said there were pressures on him. He needed someone to be his wife in public. He told me what this meant. I would live in his house. I would go to parties and events with him. I would act like his wife. It was like a job, but a very strange one. Then he talked about the payment. He offered me a lot of money. He said it was enough money to finish my studies, enough to buy a house for my parents, enough so I would not worry about money again. He also said I would get a good job title in his company for that year, like his assistant, but the main thing was to be his wife. My head felt like it was spinning. Marry him? Pretend. It felt very strange and wrong, but I thought about my family. I thought about how hard life was for them. I thought about my small apartment and eating cheap food every night. This money could change everything for us. I looked at Mr. King. He looked very serious. He seemed almost sad or worried. He needed this very much. I thought for a few moments. It was a very difficult choice. I took a deep breath. I looked at him again. I knew what I had to do for my family, for a better future. I said, "Mr. King, I will do it. I will be your wife for 1 year. 6, living a fake life." After I said yes, things happened very quickly. We met with lawyers and signed papers. It was like a contract. Then we had a small, quiet wedding. There was no big party. Only a few people came, and they knew our marriage was not real. Soon, I moved to Rick's home. It was a very big mansion, not just a house. It felt like a palace. I had my own large bedroom. Rick had his own bedroom, too. We lived in the same house, but we were like polite roommates. Rick gave me many new clothes. They were beautiful and expensive. He taught me how to act like Mrs. King. He showed me how to walk, how to smile, and what to say at parties. We needed to look like a happy couple. Sometimes we practiced holding hands. It felt strange at first, but his hand was warm and strong. We began to go to dinners and parties. These were important events for his company or for rich families. People looked at us. I heard them whisper things like, "She is so young," or "Where did she come from?" I felt nervous inside, but I smiled as Rick showed me. Rick was always polite and stayed near me. He was a little distant, maybe thinking about work, but he was protective in public. Sometimes, when we were alone in the big house, we talked a little. He asked about my university studies. I asked him carefully about his work. I saw a sad look in his eyes sometimes. I started to wonder why he really needed this fake marriage. What was the reason? One night at a party, a man said something unkind to me. He said I was with Rick only for money. Rick heard him. He came to my side quickly. His voice was cold and angry when he spoke to the man. He defended me strongly. After that moment, I felt a strange, warm feeling for Rick. Sometimes our eyes met when we were talking or at an event. I felt a small flutter in my stomach. Was this feeling real? Was it just part of the acting? I was starting to feel confused about Rick and about my own feelings. This new life was like a play, but my heart was starting to feel real things. 7. A bad night. It was the biggest party of the year for King Enterprises. Many important people were there. The room was beautiful, full of lights and music. I wore a lovely dress that Rick helped me choose. For a little while, I felt happy, almost like I was living a dream, not a fake life. Rick was also more relaxed that night. He smiled sometimes and held my hand. It felt nice. I thought maybe, just for one night, things could be simple. But the night did not stay simple. Rick has an older sister, Clara. She is a very cold person. She never liked me. She thought our marriage was strange and too fast. She watched me with hard eyes all the time. At the party, Clara went to the front where people gave speeches. She took the microphone. She had a smile, but it was not a kind smile. It was sharp. She started to talk about Rick and me. She said things that hurt. She told everyone that our marriage was not real. She said it was only a business deal. Then she did something terrible. She showed a paper to the people. It was a copy of our contract. The paper that said our marriage was for 1 year, for money and business. The room became very quiet for a moment. Then there was a loud noise of people talking and gasping. Lights from many cameras started flashing in my face. Journalists shouted questions. My face felt very hot. I felt so embarrassed. I wanted to run away and hide. I felt like everyone was looking at me, the fake wife. I looked at Rick. His face was very hard. He looked angry, but not at me. My eyes started to fill with tears. I thought about everything. My old life, the contract, this party, Clara's words. It felt like the end of everything good. I thought, my life is over now. It is all broken. 8. Our real love. After the party, we went back to the big house. It was late and quiet. Rick looked at me. His face was serious, but his eyes were kind. He took my hands. "Steph," he said softly. Everything I said back there was true. I didn't know my feelings changed so much until that moment. I love you. My heart felt so full. Tears came to my eyes again, but these were happy tears. "Oh, Rick," I said, my voice shaking a little. "I love you too. I was so afraid to say it, even to myself. I thought it was just my job." We talked for a long time that night. Rick told me why he needed a wife quickly. His family had rules for the company. He had to be married by a certain time. Also, he had problems with love before and did not trust easily. Our marriage was a contract before, but now it was real. We did not need the paper anymore. We were husband and wife because we loved each other. Our life changed again. We still lived in the big house, but it felt different. It felt like home. We shared a room now. We held hands not because we had to, but because we wanted to. We kissed good morning and good night. Rick helped me with my studies. I helped him feel less stressed from his work. We were a team. The news about the party was everywhere. Some people were not nice, but many people liked that we told the truth. My family was very surprised at first. Then they were very happy for me. They saw that Rick was a good man and he loved me. Clara, Rick's sister, was still angry. She tried to cause problems sometimes, but we faced them together. We were stronger now. I was not just the poor student anymore. I was Steph King. I found real love in a strange way. My life was very different, but it was good. And yes, I still plan to finish my university degree. Our beginning was a surprise, but our love was true. We started our real life together.